Good evening, everybody. The Music Fan is back, bringing smiles to the faces, knowledge to the people, and most importantly, music to the masses. And I am back with an old friend. Say hi.
Hello.
Guys, you remember Josh, right?
Hello.
So he was with me for my top 10 for both 2016 and 2017.
That's right.
And now that he's back in the area, I thought it would be fitting to bring him back for our top 10 albums of 2019.
You've made my life very difficult.
Yes. I have to share in the pain.
Yes, absolutely.
Guys, you know how this works. Basically, these are our favorite albums of the year, and this year was very hard. I know I've listened to about 180 albums this year, and even just making a top 75 list is crazy. So
I don't even want to count.
yeah, so, trust me, we know how hard this is. Again, these are our opinions. If you don't like it, please let us know in the comments. Let me know what your favorite albums of the year are, but please be kind.
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to say it too. This is going to be a fun list.
This is going to be fun. From what Josh has told me, he even has some honorable mentions. So let's get that out of the way real quick.
All right, so first one I have is Maggie Rogers' album, Heard It in a Past Life. I'm excited that she's gaining some star power because I feel like Maggie's been around for years now. Rightfully so, her music is soft and very passionate, so maybe people don't really want to listen to it. And it's all it took was one or two songs to really get the hook on her. And so
you see, you and Annie both said, listen to Maggie Rogers, and that is one person I never got to listen to.
Yeah, man, that's because there's a lot. So they had Maggie Rogers. Another one was Muna. They came out with their sophomore album. It's called Saves the World. Okay. So I think the idea is Muna saves the world. I was a big fan of them when they originally came out with their first album many years ago. This is their first time putting out an album, I feel like, in over 3 or 4 years or so. Okay. I saw them back here in Boston before I'd moved out to New York and put on a great show. These girls just rock. It's like a bit of a Paramore sound.
Okay.
But a little softer, but cool rock, yeah.
Another one I've never heard of.
Some people might be upset by this, but Ariana Grande is in the honorable mention. She's not in the top 10. Thank You Next is on there. The reason why this is on there, man, is because my roommate in New York had this album on repeat. And I went through all the emotions of all right, it's Ariana. And I was like, all right, okay, it's Ariana. It's pretty good. And then I was like, all right, I've had enough of Ariana. I just went through all these emotions of listening to this album so many times that I was like, all right, I gotta mention it.
See, you're saying, I know people are gonna hate me for this. I didn't even have it in my top 75. So you think you're gonna get backlash there? I think, honestly, Sweetener's better, but that's just me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right, this one maybe we'll get some hype. Is Norman fucking Rockwell.
Okay.
From Lana Del Rey. So, I mean, there's so many who just absolutely love this album. And, you know what? The message she's driving, I get it. I get why it's, a top, 10 list for a lot of folks out there. Something about Lana, I was just all right, I listened to the album and I was like, okay. I give it one listen and I was like, all right, I get it. Now I move on.
No, I'm completely in agreement with you. I did a little video on, looking at the consensus top 50 of 2019. Great website called albumoftheyear.org that just does a consensus of everything.
Oh, cool.
They had it as the #1 album of the year, and they had it by over 100 points more than the second album, which was FKA Twigs.
Yes. Another good one.
So, I enjoy it. I think it's her best album.
Right.
But the problem is that there's just way too much of it, and even with it being great, you have 3 or 4 songs that aren't worth it. And if you want it to be the best album, and clearly the best album, it has to be head and shoulders about everything else.
Yep.
But that I guess we're just wrong.
My last one was Charlie XCX.
Okay.
Charlie. I mean, I like the way that she's combining both. It's with an electronic pop sound, but as my roommate was all saying earlier when he was listening to it, he's it has a Jamaican feel to it. She's kind of turning the pop genre on its head there a little bit. I'm looking forward to more from her. I feel like seeing her live would be cool.
I think I'm not ready for that sound, so it's not in my top 75.
It's an odd sound, man, but I was feeling it.
I appreciate it. So, with that being said, what is your number 10?
Okay, number 10 is going to be Carly Rae Jepsen, her Dedicated album.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This one snuck up on me as well, Kyle. I didn't really start listening to it until later in the year. The way I put this album as number 10 is just like, I listened to this on repeat a good amount of times just because this is a really fun one. There's a song that features electric guests. I'm like, all right, you guys are great.
I noticed that.
It's a great, and like, just to think about that feature is like, how do you two know each other? How'd those two meet? I'd love to know. But yeah, that was a really great, happy, fun album. And then I noticed, like, I checked her touring, and she's like world touring. Like when I checked earlier, she was like, I think in Japan or something. So like, she's a world-class artist right there.
I have a little conspiracy, if you were to let me divulge in this.
Please do.
After seeing that Asia Takane was working with Carly Rae Jepsen, my thought was the reason why their sound is so much different now could be influences of other people. Case in point, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Maybe.
So I like the album. I never listened to her previous album, and I know Emotion is supposed to be incredible.
See, I'm right there with you there.
Yeah.
I like put this thing on repeat, and that's gonna be somewhat of a repeating a thing that you're gonna find in some of these other artists I have in my top 10.
I enjoyed it. I would definitely now go back to Emotion and see what all the fuss is about.
I'm gonna check that one out.
My number 10, I'm gonna say this. I might be in the moment, but I feel like this is the strongest top 10 I've ever created.
Ooh, the hardest top 10 I've ever created.
There are at least 6 or 7 of these that could have easily been number 1.
Yes.
And have been throughout the year.
Yes.
This one snuck up on me a little bit. It was going between this and a couple others. Right in that list of what could have been top 10, you had the American Football album, you had the new Soen album, you had the new Devin Townsend album. But all of those have a couple of flaws. And this one does too, but I kept coming back to this like you, and that is Opeth with In Cauda Veniem.
See, I gotta put that one on my list.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Opeth is, they basically have been a progressive hardcore band for a very long time.
I need to open my mind to more of these progressive bands.
But they now have more of a like older progressive sound that they have had for a few albums now. And this one is no different from what they've done before, but what I enjoy now is there's a little bit more of a darker vibe, a little bit more dissonant vibe, and a little bit just more kind of musical theater at times.
Ooh.
So
it's more of a story of an album?
There is a story. I don't know it well, but
there's 10.
There's so many great songs on there. Like the musical theater song is called The Garroter, and it has this like really like tense vibe, and it's just so interesting. The whole entire album is interesting. There are some parts where it feels a little bit too long at times, but like when I come back to it, there are so many great songs. I almost forgot to put it in my top 10 just because, like, you know, it's definitely going to be like top 20. And then I was like, wait, but this song's awesome. And this song's awesome. It's like, okay, I have to.
It's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Number 9.
Number 9. Also a late album in 2019. Harry Styles. Fine Line. Yep.
Okay.
This is another album that it came out, I think, in December or something.
It was one of the last albums I listened to.
Yeah. Never listened to Harry Styles' previous album.
Okay.
I mean, I know he's One Direction, and like that was another thing, but like this album, man, like the way that Harry's able to bring back this soft rock style and a classic '90s style, but also make it very fresh and new. I couldn't get enough of it. And what's interesting is that I heard him perform, I think it was Watermelon Sugar and one other track during SNL when he was the musical guest. And when I heard it live, I was like, this sounds so great. But then I heard the recording, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I got you. So,
all right.
Yeah,
that is a good album. It pains me to not have put in my honorable mentions. There's so many good songs. I love the song "Falling." It's a beautiful song.
Yup.
Fine
Line's a great one. Adore You is a great one.
I think the thing that bothers me, if there is anything, it's what is that song? The one right before Fine Line, the song about like we're making the world a better place kind of thing.
Oh yeah. He went for like a little Michael Jackson kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like it's a little bit too like
showy-ish. Yeah, I know what you mean.
No, So his first album is phenomenal. This one's a little bit more diverse, and I really appreciate that. And it has a story. It's talking about his relationship with his ex.
Mm-hmm.
And Falling is an absolutely beautiful song. And just I'm lying in bed and you're not here, and there's nothing to blame except the drink in my wandering hand. I think is a phenomenal line.
Yeah. There's so many poppy songs, and he throws that at you, and you're like, oh, God, Harry.
I also love Don't Call Me Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Feel so lonely. The feel.
Yep. See, now you want to listen to it. Now you're like,
oh God,
it's a great album, and it's great because you're right. It does tell that story, and he doesn't reveal necessarily like where his gender fluidity is,
right?
And not to compare, but like that's what Frank Ocean did too, like,
that's
all
true.
the time. So very different artists, but the concept of like people were asking, like, we got this new album, we still don't know like what his sexuality is, and it's. Love it.
Speaking about pop albums, number 9, and I thought this was going to be a little bit higher, but man, this is just how strong this year is. Billie Eilish with When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Guys, it's not just an album for a bad guy and not just the memes. If you listen to the whole entire thing, it is an incredibly diverse album, an incredibly mature sound for a 17-year-old. The fact that her and her brother were able to create this, the production is incredible.
Yeah.
Take Zanny for instance, like going from like this lounge sound to going to the chorus and it like having like these small bass boosts that make it feel a little bit off, like if you were taking a Zanny.
Yeah.
There's so many incredible songs. You Should See Me in Crown. When the Party's Over is gorgeous. And even the latter half, I Love You, Before I Go, Bury a Friend, which has this like kind of...
That music video is crazy.
It reminds me of a song off of Yeezus. I think it's Plaid Skinhead. The vibe of that. Like the...
Now I gotta listen to both back to back.
But like, it does that vibe better than Kanye did, in my opinion.
I mean, hey, because do you remember that Kanye even put out an album in 2019?
Oh, God. Let's not even talk about that.
Exactly.
You go into it for the singles, you stay for just an incredible pop album. And so many people say, oh, she's going to be like the next Lana Del Rey, or she's going to be the next Lorde. No, she's
the next Billie Eilish.
Exactly. That's all you need.
Yeah. Disclosure, not on the list.
Oh, no.
Not on the list.
It's all right.
But I completely agree with you, Kyle. Her brother doesn't get enough credit. Like, her brother is a genius.
Yeah.
Fantastic production. Like, it's exciting to see what more comes from it. It's an album that, like, I want to listen to more. I actually think she put out a music video for another track, I think today or yesterday. I saw it on Twitter, so I gotta check it out. But yeah, those music videos are something else.
They are.
It really lets you get inside her mind a little bit more, and it's a little creepy and crazy, but like I like your way of saying that in the song Zanny, like the dissonance there is like, oh, it's like you're actually taking a Zanny.
Yeah.
Not that I have.
The emotional depth that she has, even though she is a 17-year-old,
right?
Like,
I can only imagine what it'll be like. I'm sure she's terrified to turn 18.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrified to turn 18.
Oh, she is screwed.
Yeah. Yup.